video to share my corona story. I got tested for corona, tested positive for corona. This is my 4th day sick. Obviously, each case is going to be very different. I'm 18 years old, so obviously, if you are a teenager, the signs and symptoms aren't as bad as if you are like 40, 50 years old. Obviously, the older you are, the more dangerous it is. But before I get started, this is a note saying that I have corona. That is my name. That's the store I got tested at, and that is the positive. I hope you guys can hear me okay, because I don't want to talk too loud because I do run out of breath very fast. God. But let's just get comfortable. So I am in quarantine, so this is my room. But it all started Tuesday. I started with like this little dry cough, and kind of like the one I just coughed at right now. But it just started with that little cough, and it started at night. It didn't even start during the day. It started at night, and I started like, I don't know, I started feeling weird. I started feeling like, I don't know, like something wasn't right. Like I already knew from the beginning something wasn't right. So I started freaking out a little bit. But then Wednesday came around and I woke up feeling like shit, like complete shit. Like I went to work. They called me in at 9. I was supposed to be there at 11. They called me in at 9 in the morning. I got there. No, I was coughing. I had a mask on, thank God. But I was coughing. I had a fever. Well, I felt, you know, when you feel like you're about to have a fever, but you don't quite have it yet. So I put a mask on. I started sanitizing my hands because I'm a cashier. So I was sanitizing my hands after everybody because I was so paranoid. I didn't want to get anybody sick. Every time I would cough, I had the mask on and I would just go like this because I was so scared. So I was begging my manager to let me go because I did not feel good at all. So fast forward, they let me go, and I got home. Well, actually, I went to Walgreens because I was like, you know what? Let me get some. It's like the Vicks, the medicine Vicks, not like the thing that you rub on your chest, but like the actual pills to take. So I got some of those. Let me catch my breath. I got some of those, and I got some hot Cheetos because I was like, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna take this medicine. I'll be back at work Thursday. I'll be good. So I took the medicine. I started to feel a little bit better, but it was still pretty down there. And I was just laying on my couch watching Netflix. My parents were in Mexico at the time, so they weren't getting exposed to me yet. And then I kept checking my temperature because my aunt, I called her and told her that I wasn't feeling good at all. And she brought me like a thermometer somewhere in here. She brought me a thermometer and she told me that just to keep checking it. She brought me some stuff, and I started checking my temperature. It was so weird because it was like at 97.9 at one point, and then it would shoot up to 99, and then it would go back down. Like it was like constantly just going back and forth, which was very weird. But it never got to like 100, over 100. So that's why I was kind of iffy. I was like, is this even coronavirus? Like, I'm not even getting a fever yet. So that night, my aunt decided, she was like, you know, it's probably safer if we go to the ER. So she took me to the ER. We were there, and the PA, she's like the doctor, kind of, basically. And she checked my lungs. She said they sounded clear. She told me to just get like a humidifier, but I knew like deep inside something was wrong. My BP, my blood pressure was like 140, and then it went down to 126. It was weird. Like they basically told me that they didn't think I had coronavirus. So I was like, okay, you know what, whatever. Like, I don't have it. Let me go back home. Let me just lay down, go to sleep, and feel better. And then the next morning comes around, and shit. Like, I woke up with like 101 fever. I was shivering. I was so fucking cold. I just moved from like my room to the living room, and then my aunt came again, and she told me like I had the worst headache. Like that headache was like the worst headache I've ever had. Like it just felt like this pressure like all around my head, like a very, I don't even know how to explain it. And my aunt came still thinking I didn't have coronavirus, but she, at that point, she came with the mask on because that morning one of my friends texted me telling me that she had tested positive for coronavirus. So I decided to tell my aunt to wear a mask because at this point I wasn't sure. Even though we had went to the ER the night before, I wasn't sure whether or not I had coronavirus. So she brought me some snacks. She was very, oh my gosh, she was so helpful. She brought me some snacks. She brought me some oil. Like, I really need to make that brand like a freaking sign or something. Like, she rubbed it on I rubbed it on my temples, and like that oil like made the pain go away. Like it eased it so good. So after I put the oil on, I took more medicine, and like when I was on the medication, I felt like obviously not perfect, but I felt like I was good. Like I wasn't gonna like pass out because the fever was so bad. So, but as soon as like the medication would pass, it was so horrible. Like, it literally felt like the fever was like making me like oozy, like very oozy, and like I was just like kind of like floating. Cause my boyfriend came over, which I don't know how he did that because I had coronavirus, and he came over that night. And he was just kind of laying there with me, and I was crying because I was really scared. Because at that point, after I hit the fever, I'm gonna try and figure out how to insert some pictures. But after I hit the fever, like I knew deep in my heart that I had coronavirus. So I started. At that point, I was just kind of, like I said, I was just laying there, not really doing anything. And then he left. The next morning, he texted me. I was still feeling pretty sick. Like, it was like, I'm gonna try to insert some pictures or some videos so that y'all can see. Like, under here, I had like I have like blue, like right here. I don't know, it looked red, bluish. I don't know, it was weird. Right now, I'm just red. But my boyfriend told me, he was like, you know what, we have to get tested. The next day, he was like, you have to get tested. And I knew I had to get tested, but I was fucking scared. Like, I was like, dude, like, I knew that the moment, like, the test said positive, like, I was just, like, it was gonna be the worst day of my life. So, I was waiting on him to get off of work. He got off at work at 6, and one of my other friends that had been in contact with the girl who tested positive, he had went to get tested. So I asked him where he went to get tested, and he gave me the address, but they ended up closing at 6 that day, so we couldn't go. Then we were gonna go to another hospital to get tested, but we knew it was gonna be a bad idea to go there. So one of my neighbors texted me, and she told me that if I wanted to get tested, like to go to this place because she had gone to get tested there, and it was free. So I woke up the next morning. I asked my aunt if she could come with me, and we went to Walgreens, and I got tested. I still felt like shit. I felt like my blood pressure was dropping. Like it was like I had a low blood pressure. So I got tested, which if you know me from TikTok, I posted it on TikTok, me getting tested. And I got tested. I waited about 4 hours. When I was in the shower, my phone rang. They call you from a private number, so you can't call back. And they were like, you tested positive. And I felt like my blood dropped to my knees, because even though I already knew, I was so scared. And I called my mom first because she was still in Mexico, and then she didn't believe me. And then I called my dad. Well, no, I just told them right there. And then I called my best friend because I was having like a mental breakdown. I was like, best friend, I have coronavirus. And she was just like, bitch, like, that's crazy. Like, she was just like, honestly, whatever she was saying at that moment, it was really helping, because I was really scared. And then the day kind of, whatever. So the day kind of kept going yesterday, and then my boyfriend came over again, and we watched some more movies, because we have a lot of time to watch movies. And I still feel very weak, as you can probably tell. I feel very weak. Yeah, today's been the same. My parents came back from Mexico, so now I really gotta stay isolated in my room. But I still feel very weak. I get very like shortness out of breath, and it's not all the time. Like, it's like out of nowhere. Like, I can be doing something so simple, and then out of nowhere I gotta like catch up in my breath again. One thing that I don't know why it is you cry very easily. Like, I don't know if it's just because it takes a mental toll, from being like away from everybody. But like yesterday, like my boyfriend, we were trying to fix something, and like he accidentally like bumped me or something, and like I was laughing, and then out of nowhere, like I just started crying. Like, it was the weirdest shit in the world. But yeah. And then today I put on a mask. I drove my boyfriend to the Walgreens where I got tested, and he tested positive. So now he has to stay quarantined, and now he can't come because my parents are here. So before my parents got here, we Lysoled the whole house and everything, so everything's good. Well, we hope. I did my best. I really did do my best, but now he has it. So now I gotta wait 10 days. 14-ish days. So hopefully it passes soon. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any questions or suspect that you have coronavirus, please go get tested. Even if it's not like positive, just go get tested. It's way better to just go get tested. I never took it serious. Well, I took it serious, but I never really took it that serious. And I got coronavirus, so please go get tested. Better to be safe than sorry. You guys have a great day. Stay safe, stay woke. Yeah, bye.